Hi, River.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much for agreeing to do this interview before our upcoming workshop, Co-Creating Connection Using Nonviolent Communication for Heartful Connection. Nonviolent communication, also known as NVC, has really been a game changer in my life, as I'm sure it has been for you, considering we continue to meet every week with a group of people from all over the country in order to practice. Um, I'm happy you were enthusiastic about leading a peaceful speakers workshop for the organization that I work for. And since it will be a virtual event, I'm happy to say that we're able to offer it for free to anyone who is interested in experiencing what this worldview of empathy, authentic expression, and connection has to offer. So my first question for you is, what initially drew you to NVC?
Well, before I answer that, I just have to say I'm just excited to be here and to have this opportunity to offer something that I've been practicing with for a little over 20 years, I guess. So what first drew me to NVC was something before NVC. I think I've been on the hunt for tools and strategies that make it more likely for me to connect and to accept life and people as they are. And so after learning some things in my early days, in 2002, some friends were learning about mediation. And in their study of mediation, they ran across Marshall Rosenberg and his work with nonviolent communication. And we'd shared different things that were exciting to us. And then I was introduced to Marshall's book, Nonviolent Communication, A Language of Life. And those simple, it was 4 steps and three ways to do it. That's very simple. I was drawn to the simplicity of the model. And then as I practiced with it, really recognized the depth of the model. So it was easy to learn. It was simple to learn, but not easy to implement. Because it's different than how we've all been educated, at least me and most of us in schools, to see things as right or wrong, black and white, in an antagonistic or polarized world like we're living now. It seems like a deeper truth is that we're really connected, and I'd rather live in partnership and collaboration, which is a real strength of our species, rather than in competition or in conflict. So these tools help develop and make it more likely that we collaborate rather than fight.
Beautiful. How has your NVC practice evolved over the years?
It's become less structured. It's like the Zen story of getting across the river. You need a raft or something and the river of disconnection. These tools of nonviolent communication help me navigate the waters. And once I get to the dry land or the stability of connection, I don't need these tools anymore. So these tools are a different way of speaking that a lot of us have learned, and they can feel a little stilted at the beginning. And then, but for me, the process of understanding the learning steps of this nonviolent communication, and then implementing the spirit in my natural language. So the purpose of this NVC process, this nonviolent communication process, is to learn to better connect with one another as human beings. And once we're connected as human beings, we naturally just want to support each other. I mean, if we're walking down the street and somebody drops something out of their grocery bag, the natural tendency is to pick it up and say, hey, you dropped something. Now, if you saw them as an enemy, it wouldn't be so likely that we do that. But someone neutral or someone that you love, it's just, we don't give it a thought. We just want to support. And that's the idea, is to find the humanity, even behind people we disagree with, to see, what I may not like their tactics. I may not like what they're doing to get what's important to them. But what's important to them, like safety or protecting their families or whatever that might be, I have that same interest. And to look beneath the actions to what's likely their motivation helps me stay connected and makes it more likely that we can hear one another.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about NVC. What has been one major learning you've gained from the practice?
I missed that. Would you ask it again?
Yeah, what has been one major learning you've gained from nonviolent communication?
What comes to mind is that this has transformed every single relationship in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little, it seems a little like over the top to say it, but it's true that I find that I'm curious and interested in how can I connect with every human being. I mean, there's plenty of human beings that I don't really want to have lunch or dinner with, but in dialogue, we can find commonality. It's really possible, and I can't think right now of a single instance that these ideas didn't at least make it more likely that I came away feeling a little bit more hopish. I may not be completely hopeful, but hopish about connection and working together.
Yeah, I love that. So, talk a little bit about this idea of co-creation. We have it in the title for the workshop, co-creating connection. So, in your own words, what is this? What is co-creation?
Well, what comes to mind now is that there's these things that we've learned in brain science called mirroring neurons. So there isn't anything I feel like I can do independently. I think the whole idea of independence is maybe a useful conversation, but the truth is that there is interdependence. So everything is co-creation. So I want to stay engaged in what matters to you and hold at the same time what matters to me equally important. So the co-creation is that we're both driven in this NVC, this nonviolent communication model. We're driven by these things that Marshall Rosenberg called needs, or their values, or the longings of the heart, like to contribute to life, to make a difference, to have meaning, to replenish our resources, like through food or whatever it might be. Those are the things that drive us. For example, this conversation right now, I think part of the motivation is for clarity, to have better understanding of what the folks that might be interested in taking it might be like. So that's what's driving this. So staying with this idea that you also have some reason, some deep positive reason for whatever you do. So that's the co-creation, staying in tune with and curious about what's the motivation that I can resonate with another. And when that's understood, and that you get the sense that I genuinely do care about what matters to you, then we it's inevitable that we collaborate with one another. When there's true trust that I'm not in competition with you, that I value you and really want to do my best to have you get your needs satisfied in a way that doesn't discount what's important to me. We can find a way that we can both be willing to take a step, has been my experience.
Mhm.
Willingness is an important idea, not wholehearted enthusiasm, but if I see that this is important to you, that touches me, and I find myself more willing to entertain a strategy that I may not have been had I not really understood and got the impression that you valued what was important to me too.
Thank you. Yeah, we really need, as a world, we really need to move away from competition as the only paradigm and really into this, stepping into this co-creative, compassionate worldview. And MVC really provides that. So,
Yep, I'm for a partnership paradigm.
yeah, me
I
too.
think competition is old-fashioned. I think we as a species, it's time for us to move out of the terrible twos or the teens, whichever we might be. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And I really look forward to our upcoming workshop next week.
great. Thanks so much. I look forward to it too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.